Going on to the AFC, actually, the Colts this weekend just won a big game, won a divisional game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Man, Jaguars falling to 1-3. Colts 2-2. Man, Matt Hasselbeck had a great game.
Yeah, great game.
30 of 47, 282 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. He played a pretty good game. You know, normally not known for not throwing picks, and it's honestly funny because it's like because Rashad's been campaigning for the Jacksonville Jaguars for Lord knows how long, and just you missed 2 field goals that would have won. That's 6 points.
Mm-hmm.
The Colts won 16-13. That's 6 points. Make one of those, you're in overtime. So it's like, man, like, and what that does for them in the AFC South, if the Colts would have lost that game, Jacksonville would have been 2-2, and the Colts would have been 1-3.
They would have took the lead.
So they would have been leading the division. So it's like, what do y'all think about it? Just, how the Jaguars just lost the game, and how big of a win it was for the Colts to win without Andrew Luck because he didn't play, and how big of a win it was, and what does it mean for them in the division race? Rashad, we'll start this one off with you.
It's clear that Myers is not the rookie Dan Bailey was. Dan Bailey didn't miss a thing when he was rookie season. He's already missed. See, that comes with him being a rookie. That's a lot of pressure. Mm-hmm. A lot of nerves going through you right now that you have to beat the Colts, to snap their 14 divisional game win streak. You have to hit this kick. 53 yards the first one.
Kicks. Cool.
48, which those 2 are not easy field goals.
They're not easy.
They're both not easy.
But man,
they would have been clutch.
Field goals, bro.
That's his job.
But
there's a lot of pressure with a rookie.
There's a lot of pressure, but that's your one job, bro.
You go to practice every day to kick,
to kick,
and then you kick and you kick.
I'm not gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, but I want to give him a little bit because what if it was the placeholder's fault? What if he didn't tilt the ball right away?
Rashad,
that affects a lot.
Rashad, you're really trying.
I'm trying.
But he goes out to kick.
Because I know he's a rookie, but I don't want to see him his contract get terminated right here.
You're really trying.
I try. I don't want to see his contract get terminated.
Look at this objectively.
Objectively, this loss hurts the Jaguars a lot because, like you said, it was a divisional game. Especially against the Colts, who didn't have Andrew Luck.
That's when you got to.
That's when you got to take advantage. But Matt Hasselbeck played probably better, in my opinion, than probably what Andrew Luck would have played. The way Andrew Luck, you don't know, but the way Andrew Luck been playing right now, based on his past games,
it's a turnaround game for him.
Yep.
You never know.
He's on there.
And for them, they also lost their star linebacker. Midway through the game, so that hurt the Jaguars.
It did, but you missed 2.
But you missed 2 field goals, and that shows how valuable a kicker is to a team. That those 2 field goals would have put you in first.
Okay, so what do you think this win does for the?
What I think this win for the Colts, I don't think it does anything.
Really,
I don't think it affects anything.
Well, the Texans sit at 1-3.
And they play them next.
The Titans are at 1-2, and the Titans are getting off the bye week, so they're 1-2. So if the Titans win their next game, they're tied with the
exactly.
Colts. Or theoretically, if the Colts, when their next bye week comes,
but all 4 teams are struggling right now, and it's still early in the season, so it could be at any moment the Colts can hit a slump. Mm-hmm. The Titans can go on a run. The Jags can go on a run. I mean, any team in the division can go on a run.
But here's the thing: which team is most likely to go on the run?
It's gonna be the Colts more likely to go on the run.
Wait, okay,
let me the Colts because they just won a game without their starting quarterback. Mm-hmm. Matt Hasselbeck played great, and it definitely shifted momentum in their favor, and it definitely put them at a kind of like a spirit that they know they can
win.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with 2 divisional games back to back, and they just won their first one.
But you're saying that. Winning without their starter, though, their starter would have been the reason they've been losing these past games. For all the turnovers he's been having, he's been the reason they've been losing.
Okay, the win without him, though.
The win without them is.
But Also,
but also you got to think about it. It's his starting quarterback for a reason.
He is the starting quarterback for a reason, but also in turn with that, he hasn't been getting the best protection.
And Matt Hasselbeck on that touchdown pass, he got laid out.
He did.
He played well though.
Notice how many attempts he had. He had 30
out of 47.
He made 30 completions out of 47 attempts and only had 282 passing yards. So that shows a lot of short passes.
Yeah.
While with Andrew Luck, he has more of the open playbook, so he has a lot of more deep routes and stuff too. And so with Andrew Luck, he has more of the open playbook. While Matt Hasselbeck, the backup, had a less open playbook and had a lot more.
And it worked.
And it worked.
It worked.
But I'm saying, but you can't say that Andrew Luck would have lost you the game.
You can't say, but he's the reason they've been losing the past games though.
I can't just put on him. He's a big part of it, but I can't say
turnover by the quarterback. Turnovers by the quarterback is the reason why y'all blame Tony Romo for losing all those games past years.
Turnovers by the quarterback are a big part of it.
You said it a couple weeks ago. The quarterback, he plays a role. But when we was talking about the ODU and NC State game, and he was like, it's definitely still on that defense as well.
It is.
The defense played exceptionally well.
But if you're going back to ODU, Schuyler Bentley didn't really throw interceptions like that. Andrew Luck is. It's a difference.
Andrew Luck's turned the ball over, but you have to give your quarterback time to throw the ball. And the receivers and your running back have to be able to provide. Andrew Luck is all they have.
You have checkdowns, though.
You have
for when the pocket's crashing.
You do have.
Matt Hasselbeck utilized that.
No, Matt Hasselbeck was looking at the checkdowns initially. And his progression, Matt Hasselbeck started with the check down, his quick slant route, his tight end doing that little quick curl route, and then he went right to his check down. Andrew Luck goes through every progression, but you realize he only has like 3 to 2 seconds to throw the. That's not his fault. Ben Roethlisberger
he has the same line he's had other years though.
No, he hasn't.
No.
The post line has been injured. They've been shutting people in and out of the offensive lineup or out of the offensive line. They've been moving pieces all around their offensive line. And so Andrew Luck has to sit here and keep getting adjusted to these new guys at different places that either they can block or they can't block without that spot. Whatever reason, the offensive schemes are
different. They still have to do. They're still paid to do what they do, though.
They're still paid to block. But I'm saying, but when you move around the offensive line, your role in a different spot, the offensive line changes dramatically.
It's more so for run, though. It's more so for a run block.
No,
and a pass block.
You're still an offensive line. You got to protect the QB.
Yeah, because you're right. You're right, Khalid. But at the same time, your job is to pick up. When you change spots on the line, your job goes from picking up. If you're the tackle, your job goes from picking up the end to you going to a guard. Your job is picking up the blitzing linebacker.
Okay, no, but I'm saying, but your job changes. Say you have to on a play, you have to cut block because it's a quick pass. That job changes. If you're on the right, if you're the right guard on the right side of the line and you become the left guard on the left side of the line, your job changes. The right guard might not cut block,
because you're used
to it. The left guard might cut block because that pass is going to that side. So you cut block on that end or that tackle over there because you're on the different side of the line. The pass protection might change where if you're on the right side, you block out, but on the left side, you block in. So it changes. Everything changes when you move places around the line.
Which more so affects the run.
Especially if you take a guard and you move them to center.
Which more so affects the run.
It affects the run.
More than it do the pass game.
But it does affect the pass game.
It does affect the pass game, but it affects the run more than it do the pass.
But I'm saying, and they haven't had an effective running game, so that puts more on Andrew Luck. That puts
they haven't never had the line for an effective run game.
No, they never had.
You got to think about the last time they had an effective run game was Joseph Adai.
No, but at least their line protected him. That's the thing. They at least gave him some time. And Andrew Luck's been the most sacked quarterback next to Cam Newton. So they at least gave him time to get the ball out of someone. And he had T.Y. Hilton. T.Y. Hilton just came back recently. He was hurt. And Matt Hasselbeck had T.Y. Hilton for this game, and he was hurt. So now you come back. Andrew Luck had to play without his best weapon. And then Reggie Wayne left this past season. He was going to work out for the Patriots. That fell through, but he left.
He wanted to get released.
Yeah, so he left, and now you don't have Reggie Wayne when you're experienced veteran. So it's a lot of pressure that goes on Andrew Luck. I mean, he has been a big part of because the turnovers they're unexcusable, but you know why you get the turnover. If you only there's a reason why Tony Romo's turnovers went down when he got a better line. There's a reason why Tom Brady doesn't throw as many turnovers because he gets the ball out quick. Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw many turnovers because he's able to get out of the pocket when it breaks down, so he won't force a throw. There's a reason why they don't throw.
So basically, Andrew Luck needs to change what he's doing in Indianapolis.
No, but I'm saying it's not all on him.
No, it's not all on him.
He's not always going deep, but if you don't have time to throw the ball, your receivers aren't going to get time to get into the route.
We see what's affected in the league now. We see what a lot of teams are shifting to. They're shifting to a lot of the short passes.
But that's because they have the line to what do you call it?
That goes in your coach too.
So your coach should have like common sense to see if it worked with Matt Hasselbeck to get the win, regardless if the Jaguars or not, it's still a divisional game. If you manage to get the win doing short passes, what everybody in the league is doing, why can't Andrew Luck do it?
Because you have to have the ability to do that. You're playing like you said, you're playing the Jacksonville
Jaguars.
No, I'm saying, but you're playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, a lesser talented offensive team. They played the Jets. A couple weeks ago, who has a stellar defense. You have Darrelle Revis on one side. You have Antonio Cromartie. So you do a lot of screens to those players. That covers on a lot of picks itself because those guys know how to jump the screens. In the Super Bowl, Brandon Browner had just jammed up a screen which allowed Malcolm Butler to get the Super Bowl game-winning pick because he jammed up a screen that was supposed to happen. So when you have Pro Bowl cornerbacks on each side of the ball, not that every team's gonna have a Pro Bowl cornerback, but it's hard to run just a standard screen or short passes when those guys see it coming.
So you think go deep then?
I'm not saying go deep, but you have to keep the defense off. You have to keep the defense honest by going deep. You can't.
So you make those run intermediate routes. You make the Richard Shermans, you make the Darrelle Reeves, you make the Joe Haydens, you make all of them run intermediate routes. You have your tight ends. You have your Kobe Fleener.
Okay.
Perfect example. You have a great tight end there, a great receiving tight end. Make him run the short routes. Who's matched up with a linebacker.
Okay, but here's the thing. He doesn't get enough time for those guys to even go in the routes half the time. He doesn't get enough time.
If you legit watch
Andrew Luck, no, sometimes they're not running deep routes at all. Sometimes the guys get jammed at the line because people know their line can't block. People jam the Colts receivers. They don't play off the ball. They jam them. So when they do press coverage, it takes more time for them to get out the routes. And if Andrew Luck drops back and there's already a defensive end or a nose tackle in the backfield, he's like, yo. And so he forces a throw that he probably shouldn't make because
he could make a play with his feet.
He could make a play, but Rashad, these guys he's a quarterback. Yeah. He's not Michael Vick. He's not RG3. He doesn't have breakaway speed. But he can scramble. He has the ability to scramble.
He's just as fast as Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers can do it. No, Aaron Rodgers can do it, but but you're mixing up scrambling. Aaron Rodgers scrambles out when he sees the pocket starting to collapse. He still gets time, and the receivers still get time to get in their route. Andrew Luck, by the time his pocket starts collapsing, the receivers aren't yet open. The receivers aren't open yet. You gotta remember T.Y. Hilton has just came back from injury. So he hasn't had him this whole season. So he's been having primarily Kobe Fleener, Andre Johnson, who's also gone in and out with his injury. So it's like he's working with limited
open as quick as they can.
Yeah, so he's working with limited weapons.
Which is why you change your play style.
But that's on the coach. Yeah, that's on the coach. That's not Andrew Luck. It's not. That's why the losses aren't all on Andrew Luck. Some of that is on the coach.
It's still on his turnovers though.
No, it's still his turnovers.
It's on the play calling, but it's also on the turnovers.
But it's on every aspect.
It was on Jason Garrett as offensive coordinator, and it was on Tony Romo for throwing interceptions.
But yes, but we can't say it's mostly Andrew Luck's fault. He plays a big part in it, but your coaching plays a part in it.
Turnovers a game is a big part of it.
But your coaching plays a part of it. If your coach sees something not working,
are those losses on him?
Those losses?
And throwing
not all the
losses
on him.
Interceptions.
They're not all on Jameis Winston.
Some
interceptions we've seen that can happen as if a receiver hits the ball in his hands and it bounces up in the air, which some of Andrew Luck's interceptions have been, and some of Jameis's have been too.
Gets the ball and they progress up the field.
But that's not the quarterback's fault.
It's still a turnover on the quarterback.
It's a turnover on the quarterback. We've all acknowledged that's not. It goes on the court. It's a turnover stat. But if the wide receiver if it hits the wide receiver right in their hands and it bounces up and lands in a cornerback or a defensive player's hands and they intercept it, that's not a quarterback's fault. But it just records on the quarterbacks. That should be a wide receiver turnover. I wish they would change it so you can see it's a wide receiver turnover instead of a quarterback turnover.
Because at that point, it's not enough QB's hands.
Yeah, because he threw a perfect ball to you and you just merely dropped it.
Even though it's not in the quarterback's hand, every pass is not in the quarterback's hands. So technically, every interception, what you're saying, Khalid, wouldn't be on the quarterback.
No, that's not what I meant. Like, not literally in his hands, but like it wasn't in his control at that point.
Every ball is not in his control after the ball is released. After the ball is released, it's up for anybody. After the ball released, nobody's on offense. Nobody's on defense. After the ball's released, everybody's a receiver on the field when the ball's in the air. Who go up and gets it is the real question.
But y'all, we're gonna move on to the next topic because we can talk about that for forever. We're gonna talk